Hey all you furry freaks, today we're going to be upgrading the brakes on a 2019 Acura TLX. And as you can see, these rotors are done for. Look at all them hot spots. So let's start by ripping these lug nut covers off. Oh, there we go. And then obviously the lug nuts. And these lug nuts are 19 millimeter. And that's the last one. Oh my. What what a terrible rotor to have, right? It's terrible when you can have these. Oh shit. Sheesh. Then we got some big caliper bolts, which are 17 millimeter on this one. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put some force into it. So I just broke them loose with my regular ratchet, and we can zip them off like so. Sheesh. These are a good investment. And then right back here, right there is, hold on, let me get two hands. Okay, so right there is your 19 millimeter caliper hanger bolts. Just get on there. Oh, it's too long. See, it's hitting the brake line right there. I'm gonna whip out a swivel, I guess. I lied, it wasn't too long, it was just the angle I had it at. And then I did break these loose with the 1/2 inch ratchet right there, because they were super tight, and I don't know if it's because I got my brakes so hot or not, but just so you know, they were really tight. There's our top one, and then there's our bottom one. Just gonna zip it off right here. Actually, you know what? Oh, well, it came out, but. So I'm sitting here going through my box. I'm like, where the hell are my clamps? Totally forgot I got them on this car right here. Or sorry, not clamps. I was just talking to my coworker about the caliper hangers. But I got some backups, so it's not that bad. So then basically we're gonna take this off and hang it up on the strut spring over there. I need two hands for this. Got it looped around the bolt hole there, and we're just gonna let it hang out right there. Mamma mia, Papa Pia. I knew I heard the brake squeaking. See how these kind of just sprung off after I took off the caliper? Yeah, these just go, you know, in those little holes right there and right there. But we don't need them for right now. I'm just dropping everything. Oh, holy moly, guys. Yeah, I'd say it's high time that I replace my brake pads. My brakes in general. Oh, that piece flew up at me. What the hell? Golly. These get hot enough? So yeah, back to taking off the bolts. Taking off this last one here. Bingo was his name. Oh, hey, it stayed on. And then I do like to take things off, or sorry, when I take things off, I like to set them up in order of which I took them off, just so it's easy to forget, or not to forget, because, you know, sometimes things get messy. I did a cylinder head, I had things scattered everywhere, but I had bolts lined up in my tray like this, you know, in order. Obviously, this isn't organized right now, but it is a good idea to keep your bolts organized in the order that you took them off. Or at the very least, if you're gonna take things off, like for say these bolts, if you take this whole assembly out and you set it on the ground and you don't want to lose your bolts, just put them back right where you took them out from, and then so that way when you go to put that back together, you won't forget. I don't know, just a little tip there. But, you know, who am I? What am I, a mechanic? And there's our inside pad right there. Looking pretty bad. And then, last but not least, the rotor. Look how shiny it is. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? It's crazy I can tell driving patterns just from looking at the rotor. These are all hot spots here from the rotor getting super hot and just catching in different spots. And it's pretty shiny, getting a little glaze there. Also just from getting really hot. I cannot seem to find my wire brush through my amalgamation of messes. And I thought I just seen it. Oh, there's my magnet I was looking for. I could have swore I just seen it somewhere. Guess I'll just whip out the brass one. I would prefer the stainless steel one, but you know, whatever. So what I like to do is also clean up the hub surface. I do also do this on customer vehicles, just to ensure that the rotor is sitting on the hub very evenly. This is not doing much. Hold on. Yeah, for whatever reason, I cannot find my stainless steel brush, so I'm deeming it as lost. So the brass one's gonna have to do. That's as good as I feel like getting it. It's as good as it'll ever be, right? Just filled up the dope. Just filled up the brake clean can. Now I gotta air it up. Oh shit, I need 2 hands. Sure, 120 PSI works, right? Yeah. And just spray it with brake clean, cause fuck it, why not, right? Had to scavenge the shop for this, but you can also put some anti-seize on the hub if you'd like. I'm gonna do it just cause it's my car, and I'm probably gonna change the brakes again in the future, so may or may not be overly excessive, but you know, whatever floats your boat. Put some on the threads too, cause why not, you know? Threads actually look good, but still helps, still helps. And then once you've got your anti-seize everywhere, just make sure not to touch it on the rotor, your new rotors. Gott in Himmel! So yeah, just compare, make sure your things are correct. I'm gonna do a little bit more comparison off camera. Just had to make sure. Did buy this off of Rock Auto, so just had to make sure that they would fit. And if you got shit on your hands, just do your best not to touch the actual braking surface of the rotor. But either way, just gonna spray it down just to get all the factory oil off of there, so that way, you know, whatever they say, I don't know. And then make sure you open your eyes and read, because I almost put this on the driver's side. I forgot that drilled and slotted rotors are actually side specific, so you know, watch out for that. So once you have your correctly labeled parts on, brake rotor, whatever, I'm gonna put a lug nut on this just so it'll stay and, you know, make everything a lot easier. Well, unfortunately for me, that's as far as the lug nut will go, so we'll roll with it. But damn, don't that look purty. Shoo-wee, she purty. Now we're going to take a look at the brake pads here. Open, down. What the hell? You know, after doing this all with one hand, I give a big shout out to all them YouTubers that record with one hand. I'd sure hate to live with only one arm, man. This shit sucks. Shout out to all the armless or one-arm people, you know. So once you got your brake pads out, you're gonna want to really clean up your brake caliper holder, whatever the hell you want to call this. So step one for me would be taking off the old hardware and then using a wire brush to clean these surfaces up. And then once you got you know, it all cleaned up, just go ahead and throw your new hardware on there. Movie magic. Dude, that's so crazy. I've always wanted to do that. But yeah, so got the new hardware on there. Always compare your old hardware to the new hardware just in case, you know. Yeah, sure, that's right. If it's not right, I mean, if it's not super duper rusty or anything and not like falling apart, it's still alright to put it back on. But most of the time, if the brakes come with the hardware, I'll just go ahead and put it on. And if the hardware is different, then I would just put the old hardware back on, clean it up as best you can. It's better to have old hardware on and have your brakes be able to slide back and forth than having your brakes stick or, you know, whatever else happen. You can also add anti-seize or whatever down underneath the hardware, but I don't really care that much, so I'm not going to do it. And then once you get your new hardware on there, check your slide pins, people. See a lot of people who change their own brakes not do this, and that's how they end up getting seized, and then you have braking problems. But yeah, looks alright, but I'm still just going to add new grease on here. And obviously on the back of your grease packet or whatever you're using, I don't know, sometimes it shows you, sometimes it don't, but as you can see, this shows you all the parts you can add the grease to. So side pins, bushings, and yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is what I thought it was. I did save some grease packets from replacing Mazda brakes because that's where I work. That little tag right there. This little tag right here, it's official. What? So yeah, basically for this copper anti-seize, you can call it, or just lubricant, whatever, you're gonna want to add this to the ends of your brake pads. I'll show you in a second. Just for reference, since I don't want to take this out of my hand, you know, just at the top right here and on the sides, like right there, right there. Yep, that's what it showed me in the instructions. And then for this black stuff, that gets added on the back side. And just because I have a little bit left over, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So I'll be using a combination of all three of these just because, you know, I'm a little picky like that. And, you know, some people have their own little niches. Some people are just like, oh, they're all the fucking same, put them on. And, you know, some people don't even grease that shit up at all. You know, we're all different. Whatever works best for you, that's all I can really say. And then it's never a bad idea to replace your slide pin bushings. Most of the time I don't, just because it's not necessarily necessary, if that makes sense. But since it is my car, I will do this. So I put some of that gray grease on the outside. Why is it not focusing? Sorry, I'm using my phone. First time ever recording car videos. But yeah, I put some on the outside so that way the bushing itself doesn't get seized inside of the caliper. Caliper frame, holder, whatever you want to call it. Also, extra tip, please pay attention to which slide pin is which. Try your best not to mix them up. This one is the bottom one, but these are pretty much the same, I think. So, you know, technically it doesn't matter. It might still matter. I don't really know, but it's just best to not mix these up because I know on Mazda's, I think it's the top one, has a rubber bushing that goes around the top here. So yeah, you really don't want to mess that up. Clean the old grease off of it, and then put the new grease on. And then, oh, wait, stop. If you do that, it's gonna push all the grease off the pin. You need to put grease inside the bushing. Which is not really a bad idea to do, so I'm just gonna put some on my pinky, out of focus, whatever. And then I'm just gonna shove it in there, actually inside the hole, and then I'm just gonna swish it around like I'm digging in my ear or something. Yeah, that looks alright. And then you can add your slide pin. Yes, daddy. So, top one looks good. I'll do the same exact thing for the bottom one. Check it out, just found the magnet just sitting right here. Hell yeah. I'll put that on my box. Can I? Whatever, it'll just go right there, right? That works. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know where my new bushings went. Let's play a game of I Spy. I spy the bushings for the caliper bolts. I don't see them. Found them. I don't know why, but I totally forgot I put them in here. Then again, that's kind of going back to, you know, keeping things organized. Obviously my cart's not organized, but if you're gonna have a mess, at least keep it an organized mess, you know. In my case, technically I consider this an organized mess, as in it's all on my cart, so I know it's not gonna be scattered anywhere else. So, you know, if it's lost, I know it's somewhere on my cart. So for now, I'm just gonna put the rest of the hardware stuff in this corner over here. And then, you know, a lot of you would probably say just put it in the fucking organizer, but, you know, that doesn't work for me. I got really bad ADHD, so, you know, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, man. Oh, move the organizer. Oh, sorry. I mean, I gotta have my mess somewhere. I can't just throw tools on the floor now, you know what I mean? And then on Mazdas, I know that sometimes they don't come with the backing plates. So just make sure that your brake pads do have the backing plates, and if they don't, you can always just reuse the old ones, put them on the new ones. And we're gonna add our copper anti-seize onto the tips. And this stuff really goes a long way. You don't need a whole lot, which is why I still have it. This is like the third or fourth car I've used this on now, just that little tiny packet. So now that we got our copper anti-seize or brake lube, whatever you want to call it, we're gonna go ahead and add the other lube to the back side. And feel free to use whatever you like. This is just what I prefer. Or, you know, don't add any grease, whatever you know, whatever that works for you, man. I know co-workers here, some of them don't like to even put any grease, but I do. Just makes me feel better, helps me sleep better at night, you know. And then most of the time, this little squealer here is going to be on the inside, so this will probably, the brake pad it's on is usually the inside pad, so I'm just going to verify that real quick. And yep, as you can see, honestly, I did not know my car had double piston calipers, but squealers on top. This is the inside pad, verified. As you can see, that's the outside pad, does not have a squealer on it. And then it does matter which side the squealer's on. You know, leading edge, trailing edge. I'm really tired, I don't feel like thinking about it, so I'm just comparing the brake pad, the new brake pad to the old one. And then, you know, instead of adding it in little spots here and there, I'll just add it to the whole backing plate, because, I mean, it's going to touch it somewhere, right? So that area will definitely be covered, yeah. It'll just help it prevent squeaks and shit like that. Same with adding the copper. This ain't the right one. Oh, it's the outside pad. Same with adding copper anti-seize to help prevent squeaks and stuff. Wipe that off. And then I'm typically a messy person. I just wipe shit on me like that because it's work clothes. I don't care. But, you know, whatever you do, try your best to avoid putting it on the braking surface. Sorry, not putting it, but, you know, getting it on the braking surface. And then just put your brake pad on your caliper frame, whatever, like so. This is a two-hand job, so I just two-hand job. But this is just two-hand job, so I did it off camera, obviously, duh. If you got a rag handy, it's best to just wipe the grease on a fucking rag, like a normal person would. Then we got the brake pads on here, all lubed up, and then we're just gonna put it on the car and then add our little clips for the holes. And then I did put the bracket bolts back on. Bracket, that's the name for it. Caliper bracket. So I did put the caliper bracket bolts back on. No, I did not torque them. Yes, I work in a dealership, but I mean, as long as I tighten them as tight as it came off, man, I'm very confident it's not going anywhere, right? I'm not willing to spend the extra 2 minutes torquing them. I really don't care. I'm tired. I want to go home, damn it. Shit, they're probably over torqued. Who knows? Obviously, I don't know, and I'm not going to spend the extra time looking up the torque specs and torquing them. It's not that big of a deal to me, to be honest. Feel free to yell at me if you want, but I don't care. I'm just going to take the sticker off just so it makes me feel better that my rim, my wheel is going to be on the wheel hub flush, or brake rotor flush, I guess, whatever. Now that all that's on there, time for the annoying part, adding these little things on there. By these things, I mean these things that are just very annoying to me. They just kind of keep some outward tension on your brake pads. Yeah, they're just really annoying to me. And this is why they're annoying, because when you got them on there, it likes to push the brake pads all the way out. And what I did was I just kind of squeezed them together a little bit like that, just so it's not pushing the brake pad all the way fucking off. And then you're gonna want to compress your calipers. I have a tool for that. If you don't, you can reuse an old brake pad and get some, I'll show you. Never mind, I can't find my channel locks, but you can take some channel locks, an old brake pad, and just kind of press it together like that. Really do not advise you to put the channel locks on the caliper piston itself, which I still do sometimes, but it's just if I'm rushing, which I'm not Russian this time, I'm American. Just kidding, but this is a dual piston caliper, so I'm going to need to push both of those at the same time. And I got my tool in there, and then I can just keep cranking. Did buy this off Amazon. It's not Snap-on or anything, but you know, it works. Hold on. So I used to have a Matco hydraulic brake caliper tool just because he didn't have any of the ratcheting ones on the truck. So I got it, I was like, sure, why not? And that shit did not work. It fucking broke the same day I used it, so wouldn't advise getting the hydraulic Matco one if you can avoid that. I like the Snap-on one because it's got a little bit more teeth on it, but this Amazon one works just fine. And there we go, caliper is maxed out, pushed in. So then we can just take this off. Give me my tool. And then if your rubber boots on your pistons do come up, just try to squeeze them back in there if you can, just so you don't tear them up. Or if you can't, just, you know, make sure they don't get tore up. So I'm done fiddling with my calipers labia. It's just won't go back in, and I'm too tired to give a fuck. So here's the caliper, here's that rubber. Looks like it's getting tore the fuck up, but it's not. So it's good to me. Apologies for being tired. I know you guys don't give a shit, but I just had a Bang energy drink before this and didn't really seem to do much. Drank some water, still didn't do much. I'm just tired. Then as you're tightening your caliper bolts, always do make sure they're not getting caught up on this edge. As you can see, most of the time they do have a flat edge if they're not a hex head. I mean, obviously the hex heads are gonna have flat edges, but yeah, just make sure does not get caught up on this, so that way your caliper doesn't sit unevenly. Got the caliper bolts as tight as I'm happy with. Give me that back. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I always double check. I lost this a long time ago, the little cap that goes on here, but got all the hardware on. That don't look right to me. Hold on. This is why it's always good to double check your work. I was ready to just go home, you know, I was ready to be done. But I was like, you know what, should probably double check. Yes, this was going in that little slot. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I didn't like the way it looked, so I'm doing something about it. And as you can see, it's behind there. I don't think it's supposed to go right here, so I fixed it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They still operate normally and efficiently. You don't want them operating poorly. And you know what else? Make sure your lines are not twisted. And look at this. I did not do this, but I just noticed because I compared it to the other side. This brake line was rubbing on the edge of that metal right there. You know what? I could have just done this and not realized, but I'm pretty sure it's not like this because there is a bolt behind there. And I'll show you the other side real quick. So as you can see, I have not even taken off the rim. And there's that same exact bracket, not covering the bolt, wheel still on, but I'll take off the wheel just to show you even better. And here you go. As you can see, brake line still runs the same way, and this bracket is not covering the bolt or touching the line, which leads me to believe this is 100% how it's supposed to be. I don't know why the other side is like that. Maybe it was me, maybe it wasn't. Highly doubt it was me, but I'll fix this nonetheless. I'm gonna say it's safe to say that it was not me, considering there was a spider living under there. That's my face. So I am pretty happy with that. So I'll leave it like that. And I do plan on upgrading the brake lines later down the line. And it really did not mess up the brake line that much. Just very minimal. But anyway, I do plan on upgrading these brake lines to some braided stainless steel brake lines just for a firmer pedal. But that's for a later time. Then this is actually not flush, so I'm gonna bend that to where it is flush. I mean, it's as best as it's gonna get for now. I really don't feel like messing with it all that much, but yeah, that's definitely why it's good to double check your work, even though if you're 100% confident and ready to do the other side, you know, double check. There's two things that I noticed. One thing I did wrong and another underlying issue that I did not know was there. And if you can't remember if you tighten down a bolt or not, it only takes 2 seconds to grab your, oh, look at that. Totally forgot to fucking tighten that again. It only takes 2 seconds just to, you know, grab your ratchet and make sure they're tight. So, yep, those are good. I'm gonna go back down this one just to triple check. Yeah, that's good. And then I always, don't know why I'm holding it sideways, always make sure that I torque the lug nuts. Just so that way I can sleep safely knowing my wheel's not gonna fall off. And if I ever pop a tire on the side of the road, I can at least take it off with a 4-way, because I more than likely won't have my power tools with me. Same exact thing applies to a customer. Some people just have their vehicle towed if they have the extra money, but some people really don't, and they whip out the spare and the spare jack, and you know, they want to take off the rim, and lo and behold, the lug nuts are way too tight. So, you know, just a courtesy thing for me anyway. I will torque every customer's wheels that come in through the door if I touch the car, or at least if I take off the wheels. I will torque them every single time, and I mean with an actual torque wrench, not an impact. But what I like to do is just hit them once real quick till they're snug, and then I'll go back and torque them to whatever I feel like with my torque wrench. So I'm gonna go ahead and hurry up and do passenger side. Wow, that looks really bad, but I'll let you guys know how that goes. That's kind of crazy. Don't know how that happens, from the wheel rubbing the fender well, even though all the clips are in. Screw there, clip, I don't know, who knows, I don't know, but I'll let you guys know if anything happens or whatever, and if nothing happens, I'll just get straight to torquing the lug nuts. I do have one thing to add. These caliper bolts, the slide pins, they were so tight I thought I was tightening them when I was trying to loosen them, but I wasn't. So not gonna tighten them that tight, but you know, I'll make sure they're nice, good and tight. Also, do your best not to leave your caliper hangers on the springs. Speaking from experience, I've lost several pairs of these, and customers will come back complaining about a noise. And well, sometimes they come back, but you know, those times that they don't come back, you lose these. So that's why I got 2 pairs of them. Now, these are the backups. And then these are the old rotors. As you can see, I did add anti-seize to these rotors, and these are the spots where the rim touches the rotor. You know, I didn't add any C's on that side. Not gonna do it to this side. I really don't care that much, but if it really bothers you, you can absolutely do that. Another tip is when you're replacing brakes, sometimes we accidentally hit things when we don't realize it. Just make sure your backing plate or dust cover, whatever you want to call it, is not touching the surface of the rotor. That will cause lots of noise. I do have to show you guys something absolutely mind-blowing. This is my outside pad from right here on the side of the caliper bracket. Holy shit, I'm a mechanic and I'm disappointed in myself, guys, to be honest. That is crazy. There's nothing left of this brake pad. And then, remember how the hub on the driver's side was real rusty? Well, here's the passenger side, and I did add the anti-seize on just the passenger side and not the driver's side as a test. And here's my test results. No rust at all, which is very surprising to me. No rust on there. Obviously, on the rim, there was a certain spots, and those spots weren't rusty. But yeah, that's actually mind-blowing. I did not think it would be that good. So yeah, I would recommend putting anti-seize on the hub. Sorry guys, I'm just so blown away by this. I just sprayed it all off with brake clean. Look how fucking brand new that shit looks. Like it never even got rusted. That is insane. My car has 64,000 miles on it. And for those of you wondering, I have never replaced the hub or the bearing on the passenger side of my vehicle. I bought this car at 40,000 miles, so I don't know if anybody else has, but as far as I've owned it, I've never replaced any of that. I've never even replaced any of the suspension, actually. But previously, when I took the wheel off, I did cover it in anti-seize just like this, and that was the result. It's best to do the slide pins one at a time, just so it's guaranteed you're not going to mix them up. Another tip, it's best to line up the screw holes with any holes that you have in the hub. There's these two holes. I don't have a third hole. The holes don't actually line up, but I couldn't give two shits less. And then when you are done, can't emphasize this enough, make sure you seat your brakes properly. If you don't know how, just look it up. I have almost 4 years of experience as a mechanic, and I still look shit up like that just so I know how. It's better to do it the right way than to guess it and fuck it all up, you know? To seat your brakes, just drive at about 50 miles per hour, slow down to about 20 miles per hour, and just do that a couple times throughout your test drive, leaving space in between for the brakes to cool down. And then I'll be torquing my wheels to 100 foot-pounds. You don't really want all the weight on, you don't want the car sitting all the way on the ground. Just lift the front wheels up a little bit to where they're still touching the ground, just to ensure they torque the best. And that's 100. Look at that, how beautiful. But my phone's about to die and I barely have any space left, so if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Please criticize me if I did anything wrong, or if there's anything that you think I should know, please let me know. All criticism is accepted. But yeah, other than that, that's about it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and just have a wonderful day. Thank you again. See ya.